This is my video for round 3 of UtahSBK. A big gap between the first 2 rounds, and I had the opportunity to do corner working for California Superbike School in this time. There was an opportunity to watch many riders, students, and coaches on the East layout at UMC. It was also a small opportunity for me to ride some. It was a very fun and fortunate experience, and it was also a chance for my shift linkage rod to snap while I wasn't racing. This misfortune happened while there wasn't a clock, so I was able to get a replacement before round 3. Honestly, it was perfect timing. For this one, we were on West. Missoula was supposed to have 6 riders. Unfortunately, Flint had his bike parked in a parking lot, and somebody ran it over while they were being inattentive. Trevor said that he was going to go, then he never showed up and still has not said anything. Brennan and Jesse did Street GP, and Walker did Street GP on Saturday, got his license, and raced in the proper middleweight classes on Sunday. Unfortunately, JoJo, one of my main competition in lightweight and other Ironman-esque classes, injured himself during a mini Moto day and was unable to run this round. In practice 1, I started quite slow with a 2-minute 2-second lap as my best, but I only had 2 laps to put in a time, and there were some setup issues that I needed to address. Primarily, my shift linkage was poorly adjusted after having it replaced. Additionally, I bonked my brake lever when towing my bike, and I needed to readjust the part that is intended to keep it from snapping off that had bent out of position, and it didn't agree with where my hand was. In between practice sessions, I fixed most of the issues. Unfortunately, there was still a little bit of shifting shenanigans during practice 2, just a 158, and a couple more adjustments for the shift linkage before the first race. The first race was the Sportsman race, and I managed a 156. Sometimes these starts kill me. I will get a great launch, see that I get away faster than a whole lot of other people, I never blow a shift, and then everybody still flies by me. Number 110 is on a Honda NSF 250. I would love to know how he is out-accelerating the R3, especially with my short gear ratio that I have on here. A 13 front sprocket instead of a 14. The second race was the Moto 3 race. Had another improvement. I moved up to a 155 lap time. And the third race was lightweight. I was able to stick with Daniel for a bit and get some faster lap times in, but he eventually ran away and it was what it was. Final race of Saturday was the endurance race, as it has been all year. Unfortunately, the race ended under a red flag due to number 28 crashing in the short chute between Workout and Scream. There was around 15 minutes left to go, and this locked me into 4th place Ironman 4 laps down. He was on a Ninja 400 and was leading the race at the time. P2 and 3 were on 600s, and I set my best lap on the second to last lap of the day with a 154.289. On Saturday night, I chilled with the gang and got Walker set up with all the things that he needed for his race license and to be registered for Sunday. The next day in practice, I did a 155.7. It was very nice to keep a lot of what I had picked up over the day yesterday, and it was the first time that Walker was going out in a proper race practice. He did a 159.4. For the first race of the day, it was the middleweight and 700 twins race. Both Walker and I were in this race, and in my attempt to help him get set up and leaving the pits, we were delayed and had to pit lane start the race. It did mean that we got to race each other, and he won by 3 seconds, and I was able to get faster up to a 154.5. The next race was open twins and lightweight. I tried to stick to the 73, but couldn't quite do it and pushed lower to a 154.7. The third race of the day was 700 twins, the best of the weekend yet. I got a 151.93. I think something with the timing on this one was thrown off because the Speed Hive timing and scoring says I got 9th, but the guy in front of me never ran a faster lap than I did, so something weird is going on there. It doesn't really matter. I'm not in the championship. It's who cares? Final race of the weekend was the Sportsman race. This was another time to race against Walker, and this was probably the most race that I had all weekend. I was actually racing people. I got the whole shot into turn 1, but Scott Christensen on his ZX4RR got by me and pulled away for the win. For a lap and a half, I was fighting to keep the number 898 CBR 600 behind me. Eventually, he got by me though in Scream, and I simply could not keep up with the extra power. This did force me to put in my best lap of a 151.776. Next time on West, I'm hoping to break the 1 minute 50 barrier. That would be big time. I understand that this exact bike has done something like a 144 before, so there's still plenty of time to find, but you know, it just takes time to get it. Over the weekend, I gained enough time that I had significantly changed where I was shifting and braking. Turn 1 in particular is now barely any brakes, it's just downshifting into 4th, and for turn 2, it's shifting up to 5th even before. And then there's no upshift to 5th before the D's, just a smooth roll off right before I hit the rev limiter. Out of the D's, I put it back into 5th right before the right turn into indecision, and then down to 4th for indecision with no brakes. It felt really good all over, and everywhere can be just that little bit faster. You know, every corner can be 2 or 3 tenths faster, and that 2 or 3 tenths is going to make up the 6 to 8 second gap that I have on the field. And you know, that's a lot, but it is findable. After the weekend was done, we got all of our stuff packed up and ready to roll to leave on Monday. Then we chilled with the Bozeman crew. After some talking, we decided to go and do the rental carts. And while I might be booty on road courses and iRacing, I crushed everybody in the carts. 6 of my 12 laps were faster than the next fastest lap that anybody else turned, and I also lapped the field. Lots of people were not having a good time and having a challenge keeping their carts pointed in the right direction and on the track. Less brakes, less steering, let the cart do the work, and it's one big way to get rewarded. From there, we all had some pizza and went to sleep. All in all, it was quite a good weekend. Next round is on the East layout, and it's the last one that I'll be able to do this year. Hopefully, I can take some of the things that I learned from this weekend, carrying more speed and just ignoring the brakes. Hopefully those skills will change and transfer over to East. My current best is a 159.6. Using the 4-second rule of thumb, if I could run an equivalent, I would run an equivalent 156 on East from my 151. I think that it would be huge if I could bring it down to a 155X. That would be huge, and it would require picking up some more time in the infield and the attitudes, as well as carrying speed through to Willa Turn. Hopefully no downshift to 5th there. That would be great. It'll be a great challenge next weekend, and I'm going to be going back solo for the first time this year. Flint is still out of commission with his bike. Brennan is low on funds, and Walker went to Gillespie in Spokane and then high-sided and has injured himself. He got a shoulder injury that requires surgery, and he will be out for the rest of the year. I'm hoping that this lack of extra mental stress, fatigue, and distraction will help me to get into and maintain focus for the final round. If I've done my math correctly and I can get a 3rd place in the endurance race, and none of the people who are behind me in the championship show up for this round, I will have locked out 3rd place in endurance Ironman. So that's my primary hope, is keep it all together through Ironman and just get a podium. That would be super sick. Hopefully the skills that I picked up will help me out, but it is what it is, and that's why we run the races. Thank you for watching. Enjoy.